So this video is a little different. I'm going to do Excel keystrokes because I work a lot in Excel. Obviously, I do my DCFs, and all my live streams I use Excel, but I've been using Excel since I interned. What year was that? 1993. So 30 years. And if you want to get really good at like anything, Excel or any computer thing, try not to use the keyboard. I mean, try not to use the mouse. And you'd be surprised how fast you can do things, especially in Excel, if you do like spreadsheets, things like that, without using the mouse. So I try to not use the mouse for like a year. And it's hard, but you can figure things out with just the keyboard. Because the mouse, they actually, for a long time, they didn't have a mouse for computers. It was all, it wasn't even, they didn't even have keyboards at one point for computers. I don't know if anybody knows the punch card system. They use punch cards to program. Because my uncle worked at IBM in the 70s and 80s, and probably even in the late 60s. And he was a programmer. Yeah, they use these punch card systems, IBM punch cards, to program. And it sounds odd. How do you even use it? But it's kind of the same concept as we do now. It's just now it's a lot of things are just kind of set up with a GUI, a graphical user interface, so it's a lot easier to use. But let me know if you have any Excel keystrokes, because I like to do live streams before I make a video. So I want to make a video on Excel keystrokes. So this has just helped me kind of like remember some keystrokes I forgot. I just listed, I copy and pasted 50 off this website. So let me know. I'll just go through them one by one. And if you can't do something in Excel with the keyboard, like you have to use the mouse, let me know and I could tell you the keystroke, because there's always a way. Sometimes it's actually quicker to use the mouse. Certain things I find it quicker, but like to save as, I don't really use keystrokes or save as. I do save with keystrokes. So I'll just start. We'll go through the list. So the first one is just to open a new workbook. So even though this is Excel keystrokes, a lot of these keystrokes work in other programs. So if I'm in this Excel workbook and I want to open another workbook, I could just press Ctrl N. This is just my settings, and now I have a brand new workbook where I can start doing stuff. I know a lot of the keystrokes. So to close a workbook, I usually do Alt F4 to close it, and I'm not going to save it. So you see it says N right here, like don't save. So I'm going to hit the N. I'm going to tab to that button. So don't save. So that's the first one, Control N. And I think it works in other programs. Let's see. So if I wanted to open up another Word doc, Control N. So it works in other Microsoft programs. I'm not sure if it works in every program. I don't think it works like in Gmail, but I don't know if I've tried it. So that's the first keystroke, Control N. I just thought of one as I said that. Control N. So Alt F4 to close. Okay. So next one is to open an existing workbook. So if you have one saved somewhere and you want to open it, you can press Control O. But that just brings you to this screen. So I usually hit Browse. That's my next step to find it, unless it's here already. But there are keystrokes you can use to move in, to find the file without using the mouse. But I usually hit the Browse button, and then I find the file. So Control O to open. To save a workbook, so let's say it's a brand new workbook and you want to save it. So Control S is to save. So now it prompts you to, because I never saved this workbook before. I just opened it right now. So now it prompts me to name it, and then I could choose where it goes, what location it goes into. So let's just say I saved it to my desktop. So Control S. It defaults to OneDrive. I'll just change it to my desktop. And I'll call it test. So now it's already saved on my desktop. So if I change it and I hit Control S, it just saves it automatically. It doesn't even ask me, do I want to save over the file? Control S, it just saved automatically to my desktop. So if I reopen it, if I close and reopen it, here it is, test. It'll be, you see the FFF is right there. So Control S to save. I usually, when I close a file, I usually don't even, like the way I close a file, say I'm working and I change my Excel file. So if I want to close it, I usually don't even save it. I just hit Alt F and C. And then it prompts me to save. And I just hit enter to save it, and it closes it for me. That's how I usually close and save. I just close the file, and it always prompts me to save it if something was changed. If nothing was changed, like for instance, if I open a file, I didn't change anything, and I just hit Alt F and close, it just closes it. It won't prompt me to save it. So that's a third keystroke. Hopefully this gets, maybe I'll probably go a little slower if I do the video, because I'm planning to do a video later with this. This is really practice on the live stream. And, but anyways, okay, we'll just go through it. To close the current workbook is Control W. So if let me go, so if I go to the test, say I change it. So there's so many ways to do it. I just showed you Alt FC to close, but say I want to close it, they say Control W, but it now prompts you to save it. So if I hit enter, it'll save it because it's on the save button. It'll save my changes. But if I tab once to don't save, it'll close the file and not save it. So you won't see ABC when I reopen it. Watch, enter, don't save. I'll Control O. So the ABC doesn't show up. So if you do Control W, it asks you to save. You can also hit cancel, and then you'll stay in the Excel workbook. It'll let you keep working on it, or so I'm just so used to Alt F4 to close. So I'll just do Alt F4. Let me keep it open. Oh, I just thought of this while I was doing a video. Control Tab to move between worksheets. So I have two open, so I can hold the Control button in and then hit Tab, and it goes between worksheets. If I had, I'm gonna hit Control N to open up a new worksheet. I'm going to call it Workbook 3, just to make it identifiable. Workbook 3. It's kind of second nature. I don't even have to think about it. workbook 2. Okay, so I have workbook 3 right here, and then I have all the keystrokes. So if I hold in the control button, keep it held in the entire time, and just hit tab once, I go to workbook 2, hit tab again, workbook 3. So tabs between workbooks. So control tab to go between workbooks. Let me just save this. Book 3. Okay. So book 2. So let me open them up back up again. So book 3 is open. Book 2 is open. So if I want to tab between workbooks, instead of like using the mouse, I can hit holding control, hit tab, and it goes back and forth. That's probably on here somewhere. Let me see. Shift tab to move to the previous cell. Okay. Okay. Move between workbooks. Control plus tab. So to move between workbooks. It only goes between 2 workbooks. So if I wanted to get to workbook 3, I could hold in the Alt button and hit tab. If I want to get to any program, hold in the Alt button, keep that Alt button held the entire time, and just keep hitting the tab button. And I could see which program I want to go into. If I wanted to go into the Chrome, it's right here. Okay, let's see if we can learn something new. To close Excel, Control F4. So I'm going to Control Tab to get to it. What was it again? Control F4. So hold in a Control and hit F4, and that closes the workbook. It just closed it. It didn't prompt me to save it because I didn't make any changes. So if I change it, right, and it's Control F4. So now I'm going to hit Control F4. Now it prompts me to save it because I made a change. And if I hit Enter, it'll save it. If I hit N, it won't save it. It'll save it. It'll just close the file without changing it. Control F4. I think that works in other programs. Like in Chrome, if you want to close out Chrome, you can hit Control F4, and it closes Chrome. I think that works for any program. This is helpful because if you're ever in a program, and sometimes like the screen's really big and you can't see where the close button is, or something like settings are messed up, you can just close. If you want to close it, just hit Control F4, and that'll close the program. That happens with QuickBooks sometimes. Like it gets really big, the screen, and you can't see the save button or the close button. Like you can't find it to click on it. But so I just hit Control F4 to close out the program. Okay, to move to the next sheet. So if I wanted to move between sheets here, Control page down. I don't really have a page down on this keyboard. where is the page down? Oh, here it is. Okay, here it is. This keyboard's a little different because it's kind of built into my computer. So control page down. If you hold control page down, you see it goes to the next tab. And you can see holding control the entire time. And page down, and now page up to go between tabs. It really speeds things up once you memorize this stuff and start doing it fast. So if you wanted to move between tabs, like you want to copy this into this cell, you could do it all with keystrokes and not, mess around with the mouse. So yeah, so control page up, page down to move between tabs. To go to the data tab, Alt A. Okay, so Alt A, it goes to this tab. And then you could hit another keystroke to do this. You could go to the solver. If you're doing some math equations, you could go to filter, T. So say you want it to filter up here. You can hit Alt A and then T, and that adds filters. So you can just now filter. I'm going to undo it, Control Z, to get rid of those filters. So Alt A. If you want to go to the View tab, Alt W, and now you can hit the keystroke. You can create a macro, hit M. If you want to zoom, you can do Q, and now it gives the zoom box, so I can change it to whatever percentage. If I want it really big, 200%. Control Z to bring it back. To go to the Formula tab, Alt M. And you can see on the top of the screen, it moves the tab Formula. So now you could do, if you want to do anything, I guess you could insert a function on the top left, hit F, and now choose the function you want to use. To edit this, I use this a lot. Let me use this as an example. So say I wanted to edit this cell. Just hit F2, and now I'm in the cell, and I can edit it. So say I messed up. That should be a minus. So I can change that to a minus, and then hit Enter. You could just go up here, right in the formula bar, to edit it. But it's just so much quicker to hit F2. So to edit a cell, copy and paste. This is probably one of the most common ones. Control C to copy, and Control V to paste. To make something italicize something, or bold. This is probably another common one. Control I to make it italicized. See how it changed it. I'll change it back. And Control B to bold it. I caught the live stream today. Hey Blade, what's up? Yeah. When you kind of do anything, it kind of ties into other stuff. So even though I do a lot of like spreadsheets and these DCF models, so I learned so much Excel keystrokes over the years. So I wanted to kind of go through them, maybe make a video, and maybe I'll learn more if somebody has a keystroke I didn't think about, or if there's something you want to do in Excel that you don't know how to do in a keystroke. There has to be a way. You could do anything in a computer without a mouse. It may take a little longer though. Okay, so to center or align contents in a cell. So let's just say, yeah, this is not centered. It's left justified. So if I want to center it, I just have to hit Alt-H. And this is what I didn't memorize, so it's good I see it. A, you see how it narrows it down? Then C. So now it centers the text. And you might think this is just a waste. I can just move my mouse up here to center it. And you could. But once you get used to all these keystrokes, it does make things move a lot faster. And you sometimes make errors. Sometimes I make errors with, if I was going to use the mouse and I had to like copy, sometimes it's hard to go to the right thing. But with the keyboard, it's usually a lot quicker. You can go to the bottom of text, you go to top, you go to the bottom of the last cell with the keyboard. So that's a good one. That's one I'm probably going to use. I didn't ever think about it. It's just hard to memorize these things. So if you wanted to right justify it, you can just do Alt-H, A, and then you see the R is right. Or you could do Alt-H, A, and if you wanted to bring it on top, you can't tell. If you Alt-H, A, and say you wanted to bring it on the bottom of the text, now you hit B for bottom. Let me Control Z back to the beginning. Control Z goes back a step. Control Y goes forward. Okay. Oh, here's a keystroke I've been using lately. If you want to copy what's above the cell, like if I wanted to copy this, Control page down, I want to copy it down a cell, you can do Control C, then Control V, or you can take Control X if you want to paste, if you want to cut it, and Control. What I've been using lately is if I just want to copy whatever is above the cell down, just hit go to the cell below whatever I want it to copy and hit Control D, and it just copies whatever is above below. Of course, if I wanted to delete this, delete the above cell, then Control D might not work as well. Or you can just go up 2 cells, hit Control C in a blank cell, then Control V in the next cell. Okay, so to fill in color. So this is, I definitely don't use this, but Alt-H, and it brings up all the keystrokes on top, and then H again. And now I need to use my mouse to pick the color. There might be a way to get around it, but so I want to change to green. Let's see if I can get around it. Alt-H, H. I could tab. If I tab, you see it's on. If I wanted to tab to this orange kind of color, and then hit enter. Do you know Victor just switched? Oh, he switched to Google Sheets. I like Google Sheets is pretty good. Some of the keystrokes don't work in Google Sheets. but it's good for it's definitely good for sharing information. Now to add a border. So sometimes you want to put a border around a cell or multiple cells. So Alt H and then B. And now I could pick if I want all borders, I could hit A. And you see it put a border, I don't know if you could tell, around the cell. This is good. I never even thought about this one. Alt H and then B. If I want to get rid of the border, hit the N for no border. And now there's no border there anymore. Alt HB. If I want a thick bottom border, hit H. And it's only on the bottom. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, here to remove outline or border. So yeah, okay, Alt HH, Alt HB, Alt HB to get the border set up. So I want to do T, thick outside border. But if I want to remove the border, Control Shift and underscore. Yeah, okay. So that that's good. I like that because I do sometimes want to get rid of the border. Control Shift and then underscore, which is next to the 0. So it's between the 0 and the equals button. Do you pay a subscription for Microsoft Office? Everything I see is subscription only. I don't like that. Unfortunately, I do. When I got this computer, to get Microsoft, I had to do a yearly subscription. It used to be like you pay once for the program and you never pay again, and I use it so much, Excel, so I kind of had to get it. Can't remember what it was. Maybe like a couple $100 for a year. Yeah, I don't like that either, subscriptions. I'd rather just pay once, but okay. Okay, to add an outline to the select cells. So I'm learning something new. Okay, Control Shift ampersand. So I'm in the cell. It has nothing around it, no border. Control Shift ampersand. Okay, so that just added. So it just added a border. Okay, that's pretty good, I guess. Because you could there's a million ways to skin a cat. So you can do the same thing. I could think of, if you wanted to move this cell to another workbook, I could think of 10 ways to do it. That's just how anything is. It's kind of like if you play baseball and you want to hit a home run, there's not just one way to do it. There's a lot of ways to hit a home run. You have certain different batting stances. You could do it left-handed, right-handed. You can hit it to center field. There's a million ways to do anything. Same. Okay, so to move to the next cell. Okay, so if I want to move to the cell to the right, I just hit the tab button. I usually hit the arrows to do that, but you can do the tab as well. So it's tab to the next cell. I would normally use the right arrow. So this is how I would do it. If I want to copy, say in this gray cell, I keep copying this cell, the control plus page down. I keep copying it down so I can talk about the row I'm on. So if I wanted to move this down, the control plus page down, I wanted to move it down one row, I would just go to this gray cell. I made it gray and just hit Control D, and that brings whatever above down. But I want to make this blank, this cell blank. So I'm going to go onto this cell and hit Control D because what's above it is blank. I just checked pricing. I'm in Switzerland. 80. Yeah, I probably pay like, I don't remember what I paid. It was so long ago, but yeah, I probably pay that much. But it's worth it. I mean, they do upgrades a lot too, and they're always coming out with new programs and features. So I just accept it. Just buy some Microsoft stock, and hopefully the stock goes up, and the money you make on a stock pays for your Excel your Office package. Okay, so to move to the previous cell. So if I'm in, so if I'm in cell 1 and I want to go to cell 2, I would hit tab. So now it's in cell 2. But if I want to go back to cell 1, I can hit shift tab. I use this a lot when I'm in program, when I'm in a lot of programs, like if I'm doing like some like data entry somewhere, I in QuickBooks. So if I want to tab between different cells, so I hit tab, 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 and it goes between cells. But if I want to go backwards, I hold in the shift, then hit tab. It's just quicker than the mouse, like having to get to the mouse and then go like that. Like you go, like say for instance, I'll give you an example. So say it's supposed to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So I hit 1 tab, 2 tab, 2 tab, 4 tab. And then I'm like, oh no, wait. I was supposed to make that a 3, not a 2. So I'd hold shift tab, 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 3. And then I would go tab, tab, tab. Just keep going. It's just fast when you do it. I like the idea of buying Microsoft to pay for the Excel or Office. Yeah, it's just worth it. I mean, I could see I justify the price because I don't know if you guys, how old you guys are, but I remember when I was younger, you don't have to pay for it. You can just get like a copy off your friend. But then you had to enter the code. So then they started making it harder to kind of steal the software. Okay. Control D to copy what's above. And once you start learning, it's kind of like driving a car. You don't have to like stop and think. Okay, I'm about to pull. I'm about to like parallel park. Okay, so I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna go into reverse, and then I'm gonna go back, and then I'm gonna stop the car, and then I'm gonna turn the wheel, and then I'm gonna go and drive a little forward to maneuver the car, then stop again, reverse to go back. So to get to parallel, you have to keep going forward and backwards and turning the wheel, but you don't think about every single move you do. You pause for like 10 seconds. You just do it fast. You go back, you go over, you go back until you go into the spot. Same thing with Excel. Like I don't think about how to. It's just muscle memory because I've done it so many times. Okay, so to select all cells on the right, So if I want this box, this purple box, I want it to whatever is on the right, which is the 1 box. I want to copy the 1 box to the purple box. I don't really use this. What is it? Control Shift right arrow. Okay, let's see. Control Shift. Oh, okay. I misread it. Okay, so it's to select all cells on the right. Okay. Normally, I would just hold in Shift, but I see what it's saying. If I wanted to copy cells 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So I want to copy all 4. I can hit Control Shift and hit the right button once, and it goes all the way. Now it selects all 4 boxes, so I can Control C to copy. If you're in box 1, you could hold in just Shift and then right arrow until you get to the 4th. If there's only 4, it doesn't matter. Let me show you. What the fuck? Oh. Okay. This is okay. So if there's 36 boxes, and I want to select all 36 boxes so I could copy it. So if I hold in the Shift and I hit the right button, it's going to take a while to get to all 36. I mean, I could hold in the right and it goes a little faster, but I might go past it. Then I got to go back, hitting the left key. So this is just a quicker way to do it. So if you want to select all 36 at once, hold in Shift, Control, and then hit the right arrow just once, and it goes to the very end. If, for example, 23 was blank, it won't go to the very end. So I'm on number 1, Control Shift, right arrow. It just goes to the last cell that's occupied. Okay, but so I use this a lot. If I want to get to the bottom, to the last cell. But you can do that every direction. Control Shift, and you can do the right arrow, left arrow, up and down to move between a string of cells if you want to select it. And then you can do whatever you want when you select it. So if I want to select all 36, I could do it in one stroke. And if I wanted to copy, I would hit Control C. And say I wanted to copy it to a new workbook, Control N. And I wanted to copy it to this cell, F6, Control V, and it copies it. And then I could, there's other ways. If I wanted to copy, then it paste it. Say I want to paste it, but I don't want all the colors. I just want the numbers. So I can hit Shift F10, SV. Now it just pastes the numbers, no formatting. It always defaults to this page break view, but I'll just go to regular view. Now, if I want to close it, Alt F4, I don't want to save it, so I do Alt N. Now it goes back to where it was before. This is reminding me of learning Vim in Linux. No, I'm not familiar, but I've heard of Linux, right? Linux. I've heard it. A long time ago. It must have been in the 90s. Is that Linux? I think that was a spreadsheet program also. Yeah, I think I remember that at my first job. I remember somebody was using Linux or Linux, and I was using Excel. So it's just a spreadsheet program, right? But there's a lot of similarities with these programs. So if you know one, you can kind of figure a lot of things out. Okay, so to add a comment, Shift F2. So if I hit it Shift F2, now the comment here, Scott's comment. You can put whatever you want. And you could select a comment. I'm holding a Shift and then left key, and then I could unbold it, or I can change it up here, the size of it. You can do that with a keystroke too if I want to make it bigger. So to delete a cell comment, Shift F10. So this doesn't work. This is like not all keystrokes work on every computer. Like so to delete a comment, it doesn't work. It probably did at one point. So Shift F10. I knew this wasn't going to work. It's called a note now. So you can see it's right here, delete note. So if I hit T, I'm going to hit T again. It goes to the delete note, and I'm going to hit enter. Okay, I wasn't in the right cell. So Shift F10, and then I have to hit T, and then enter. And you see the comment's gone. Something I do often now, I'm going to hit Ctrl Z to bring the comment back. So you see the comments there. Say I wanted to copy the comment, just a comment. I wanted to copy it to this cell. I wanted to put the comment here. This is something I learned recently because it was taking me, I felt like I was wasting time copying comments. So you hit Shift F10, and it's just my name. So Shift F10, and then hit S again, and now hit C. So it puts the comment here. And once you memorize it, like if I want to put the comment here, I go Shift SSC. You can do it real fast. And then you could edit the comment, Scott's comment number 2. I don't know, whatever you want to put. Now, if you want to delete it, Shift F10, T, enter. Shift F10, T, enter. Okay. Some comments, there's multiple steps, and sometimes I do a comment, a shortcut with like multiple, like Control Shift, like Control plus Shift, holding Control and Shift, then hit the A button, then hit the C button, then hit the F button. It's a lot of steps, right? So sometimes I do a comment for years with like a multi-step comment, keystroke. But then I learned there's a faster way to do it. There's only with one step instead of like 4 steps. But it's good to learn even an inefficient way, because eventually you know it well and you could apply it to other things. Okay, to display, find, and replace. So say, okay. So Control H, it brings you to the replace/find feature. So you could find the word, and I'm going to hit Shift Tab to go to the cell, the find what. I'm going to find house, and then I'm going to tab replace with home, and then you could just tab. Now I'm at the replace all button, so I'm going to hit A. So you see a replace house with home. So that's a good one. Control H to get to the you could just find, say you want to find a word. You want to find a word display. Now hit enter. It's right here. Okay, so to activate the filter, Control plus Shift plus L. So let's go to the top, because that's usually where you put the filter. Control Shift L. See, I didn't know about that. If you want to add a filter, now the filter's here, so we could filter by whatever we want. Or you can do, let me get rid of the filter. So Control Shift L again to get rid of it. And it says Alt, the down arrow. Oh, look at that. So you can, that's a good one. So if you Alt down, you could filter it without a filter being there, because it's not filtered, you see. And if I hit Alt down, then it gives me, wait, Alt down. Now I'm in the filter, so I could just filter by that. I'm not sure what it did, but oh, it changed the cells. Okay, to insert the current date, Control plus semicolon. Control plus semicolon. So it just puts in the date, whatever today's date is. So if I put 10/17 in here, I can't remember what today's date is. I can just put Control semicolon, and it automatically puts the date in. To insert the current time, Control Shift plus. Oh. Control Shift plus. It's not working. What am I doing? I'm so stupid. Control Shift colon. So now it puts the time in. It doesn't matter what cell you're in. Whatever the current time is, it'll put it on there, the screen. To insert a hyperlink, Control K. So if you want to put a hyperlink to like another workbook or a website. So if I want to put, so go to google.com. If I want to put a hyperlink for Google, Control K, and that brings up the address where I can put the hyperlink. Control V. Now I entered it and hit enter. So now this is a hyperlink, this 1:09 p.m. So I could click on it and it'll bring me to Google. You could do any website. You could put any website, or you can open up a file on your computer. I've done this before. So if you want to open up another Excel worksheet, you could hyperlink it in here. Like I once had like an Excel spreadsheet, and it was just hyperlinks to other Excel spreadsheets, so I could find things real fast instead of like hunting in all the folders. So I would just have like a list of hyperlinks. So if I wanted to go to this folder, it's hyperlinked. This it's all in one Excel file instead of like, especially if you have a ton of folders and it's kind of confusing where people put things. So Control K to get that hyperlink. So to apply the currency format, let me remove the hyperlink. I actually know the keystroke to remove a hyperlink. I've used it before. Damn it. Okay. So 566, if I wanted to change it to currency format, I use this a lot too, Control Shift and then $. So now it's in the currency format. Okay, to apply the percentage format, if I want this to be a percentage, like 566%, Control Shift %. Okay, to go to the tell me what you want to do, Alt Q. Wait, Alt Q. Alt Q. Okay, so it goes up here to the search section. So if you want to search like if statement, then it brings it up and it explains, well, it shows you how to do the if statement. This I use a lot. To select an entire row, Shift space, so it selects the whole row. So if I want to delete a row, that's how I usually delete a row. I go Shift space, Shift F10, and then hit D, and it deletes the row. If you want to select the entire column, Control spacebar, select the entire column, and then if you want to delete it, Shift F10, delete the whole column. Okay, we got that. I'm almost through all 50. To delete a column, okay, this is different than why I do it, but usually I just select it. So to delete a column, say I want to delete this column D, Alt H DC. So Alt H, then you hit D. Now it asks, do you want to delete cell, row, column? Then you hit C. It deleted the column. I'm probably going to use my way because I've done it like a million times now, so I'm just so used to it. Like if I wanted to delete these two columns, I would just control space, Shift Tab, Shift F10, D, and delete those two columns. I don't even think about it anymore because I've done it so many times. Like I said, it's like driving a car. It's all muscle memory. To hide a row, Control 9. So hold Control and then the number 9. You hid the row. You see it says 40, then it jumps to 42 because it's hidden. Row 41. I'm going to undo that. The way I do it is, I guess I make up my own keystrokes. The way I hide a row is I hit Shift space to select the whole row, then Shift F10. Shift F10 is the same as hitting the right button on the mouse, and then I hit H to hide it. To unhide the row, Ctrl-Shift-9. So say it's hidden. Ctrl-Shift-9. Okay, so in order to unhide it, you have to kind of select. So row 41 is hidden, so I select 40 and 42, and then I hit Ctrl-Shift-9, and it unhides 41. To hide a column, Ctrl-0. I put Ctrl-O. It's Ctrl-0. It hides the column. So to group rows or columns, Alt-Shift right arrow. I don't really use this. Oh, I don't like the grouping thing on the side here. I don't know why, but I don't like it. How do you get rid of it? How do you get rid of it? I don't even know how to get rid of it. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm going to make a video on keystrokes. I don't think it's going to get a lot of views. So those are the keystrokes I wrote down. Yeah, I'm probably not going to make a video on it. I don't think it'll get much traction. Maybe I'll just do another stock market video. Okay, thanks for watching.